Hey, Araj.
Yeah, is my voice loud and clear to you?
Do you
Yes,
hear me, sir?
it's clear. Yeah, is mine okay too?
Yes. Very
Do
clear.
you hear
Okay, awesome.
me? Hello?
Sorry, there is someone in between speaking.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Rahman.
This is Abdul here.
Yes. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you for attending the session. So, guys,
Yes.
we are going to start the session now. Okay, we have Manish with us, who is having more than 19 years of experience in procurement. He worked with SAP MM, and right now he's working with also SAP MM S/4HANA and majorly in SAP Ariba. He's a solution architect in SAP Ariba. Um and also he is very good in mentoring the participants. Okay, he'll be sharing all his working experience in a better way so that every one of you are going to be equipped very nicely, very means like in a very better way, so that once you're on board on any project you can do it in a very better way. Okay, so we have conducted so many sessions so far. Okay, so right now we have, I think so, we have trained more than 5 to 6,000 participants. Okay, in SAP Ariba. So the participants are going to be mixed kind of participants. Some of them are already working in Ariba in a very initial stage, and some of them are, already having a procurement understanding, okay, but they want to switch their career to purely into SAP Ariba. Okay, so today we are going to see what is Ariba and how it's going to be helpful for different participants, and how it will be beneficial for you if you want to change your career into SAP Ariba also. So we are getting good insight today. So Manish is very knowledgeable person. Okay, right now he's working with some company. He's right now not in India. He's in North America basically. Okay, so fine guys. So over to Manish. Thank you Manish for being with us. Okay, I will over to you. I think you are a presenter already. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks, Araj. Araj, that's a very flattering, introduction to me. That just made my morning very bright. Um, you guys can see my screen, right? It's a Word document.
Yes, we can see the word document here.
Okay, thanks so much for confirming. So today is our September 9th is our demo for SAP Ariba, right? I don't know you guys naturally, right? You could be from technical background, you could be consultant, you could be working in any company as a buyer. We don't know, right? Naturally. So we will start from the very basics. That's the best way to approach Ariba because at the end of the day, Ariba is a tool, right? SAP Ariba is a solution or a tool to support the end-to-end procurement process, right? So which means we need to know what the process is in order to understand what Ariba really does, right? So what is end-to-end procurement process? End-to-end, what is it really, right? So let's take an example. We have a large government organization that is looking to buy IT equipment for their IT department. How is a large government organization different from an average user like myself or you guys, right? Me and you will go to a consumer website. Consumer website could be Flipkart, could be Amazon, could be anything, right? Basically, and you will go there, you will choose your laptop, you will probably compare a couple of items for their specs and see the one which has a good price and go from there, right? This is called consumer shopping, right? So you are a consumer here. However, the large government organization, it does have people inside it. People are the real people who will actually doing shopping at the end of the day because they have real needs, right? Like let's say somebody working in the HR, they need a laptop. That's an IT equipment requirement in the government organization, right? However, they will not go directly to Amazon to buy a laptop or Flipkart to buy a laptop for their office needs. The reason is they're buying for their work, right? So that's called business to business procurement, right? So if you cannot go to a consumer website and buy a laptop for you as one of the employees in this large government organization, what do, right? You rely on sources which are authorized internally for you, right? So large companies, public sector or private sector, they will have a function called buying, right? So large organizations, there is a sound coming from somewhere, Iraj. It could be just myself or I'm hearing like a buzzing sound.
Sorry, yeah, Manish, you're saying something?
Yeah, there is a buzzing sound that is coming. I think from where, I don't know exactly.
Buzzing sound. Okay, okay. I make everyone on mute. So,
Maybe that's
guys, every
already
one of
working.
you will be on mute till Manish finishes his presentation. We'll be giving each one of you enough of time to ask your queries. Okay? And this is going to be a very interactive session later on, but I really want you to concentrate at the moment Manish presentation. Later on, everyone will be unmuted and you can raise your hands to ask your queries and it will be answered in a very precise way. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Iraj. Okay, now it's better. Thank you so much, Araj. So large organizations have a function or a department called buying department, right? So whenever you talk about procurement, whether it is Ariba or in general, anything, any other tool or software, buying is an important function you got to keep in mind, right? So Ariba is made for the buyers and also, of course, for the users. So there is two users for Ariba, two types of users for Ariba. First is the buyers, which is employees working in the department. Second is end users. These are employees who need to buy IT equipment in our example. So if these are the users who will actually buy, in the sense who actually have the need for the IT equipment, what do the buyers do? That's where Ariba comes in picture, right? Buyers are the people who will work with suppliers. They will find a supplier. They will find a supplier that can meet the need for this large government organization for IT equipment, right? So which means these buyers will go to market to find the right supplier. You might say they can just go on a consumer website, right? And then and they will see who the supplier is and they can just buy from them, right? But again, the difference is these end users, it's a large number, right? And they will continue to buy laptops, not in one transaction. So many transactions will likely happen to meet the needs of the IT department, right? So it's not a one transaction, it's a multiple transactions over a long period of time, right? So in that case, having a better price, having better quality, having better delivery terms, better return policies, clear warranty, right? Those things are very, very important in a B2B setting. And that's where really things start working for Ariba, right? So Ariba modules are designed to make the B2B process for procurement simpler, right? So once again, what is the end-to-end process for this large IT organization, large government organization to find the right IT vendor, IT equipment vendor? Step one is reach out to potential suppliers who can supply IT. Number one. What does that mean? The buyers in this company, large government organization, what they will do is they will identify prospect suppliers. Let's say 4 or 5 big IT equipment suppliers, wherever this organization is operating, right? In that case, what they will do is they will first shortlist those vendors, right? Vendors or suppliers. Then they will prepare some documentation to send those suppliers to review, right? And that's called like sourcing process. So the reach out itself is called sourcing process. Sourcing process is designed to streamline the interaction between let's call this large government organization a client for simplicity, between the client and and this is where the Ariba sourcing module comes in picture, right? Ariba's sourcing module supports this sourcing process. That's step number one. To reach out to prospect suppliers. So once you reach out to prospect suppliers, let's say there is 5 suppliers who can supply you, you will start sourcing with them. You will send a document to them. That document is typically called a tender or a proposal, right? In Ariba's language is called request for proposal, right? So the sourcing process begins with sending of the RFP, which is request for proposal to the potential suppliers. Step two. Once you have sent out, what happens? Suppliers respond to the RFP. Then it's like a bit of a review which happens. So let's say you send the RFP to 5 suppliers. Those 5 suppliers respond to you, right? And here response means that, think of it this way: you are sending a form to a supplier to fill. The supplier fills that form and sends it back to you. That form has a number of questions, right? And those questions need to be assessed by the buyers. Sorry. The buyers assess the response of the suppliers to the RFP and identify the winning. So this is the starting point for your B2B procurement. It starts with sourcing. Sourcing is sending an RFP, right? Reaching out is basically sending RFP. Then suppliers will respond to that RFP. And then after the responses have been received, the buyers, which is the employees working in this department called buying department, right? They will review the responses given by the suppliers, and then they will say, out of these 5, one is the best supplier. Now the best could mean price, or it could mean price plus technical terms. Sometimes people call it technical terms, sometimes people call it qualitative. Um, Factors such as warranty, return policy, delivery policy, things like that, right? So this whole step is basically done in Ariba's one module called sourcing module. So maybe what I should do is I'll move this step a little bit up there, put it right up here, because this whole thing is done in Ariba sourcing module. Okay, so this is Ariba sourcing module at a high level. Of course, number of things will be, there are a few other things which you will do. RFP is one of those. Now, again, we are talking about B2B, right? So let's say that supplier, let's call the winning supplier as supplier ABC. So buyers have said that supplier ABC is very good, right? They have the best price, they have the best quality. Great. Now what next? like how do you start buying from them? That's a question you should probably think about. Just the fact that there is a supplier out there that has good price is not enough in B2B procurement, right? You got to get into some sort of agreement with them, right? Agreement in the sense that you will want to verify, you will want to, um, you know, sign or, get into contract. Contract in the sense that we have certain details which are written down, right? Let's say you go to you apply for a job and you get a call and you get hired, right? So in that case, you are going to become an employee of a company. So you get an employment letter and you sign it. It's signed by you, it's signed by your employer. That's a contract, right? Which tells you what are the terms of this contract. Let's say you work on a hybrid method, or you work from home, or you come to office every day, right? Blah blah blah, what your salary is and all that. So the contract is a similar document, just that it is between the client and the supplier. So winning supplier ABC will get into a contract with the client as a next step. So sourcing module simplifies sourcing process. Ariba's next module, which you're gonna talk about, is gonna simplify the agreement process or the contract process. So Ariba's contracts module simplifies the contract slash agreement creation with the supplier. In B2B, as you guys work on projects with Ariba, or if you have worked on any other project, any other technology, you will know that these buyers will first make contracts with their winning supplier, and without having that contract, they will not buy a thing from them. Right? That's like strategic sourcing best practice. Of course, you might come across, some ad hoc suppliers here and there where you will buy one-off things. In that case, you probably won't need a contract. But big spend, something you want to do for long term in a B2B setting, getting this RFP out and Ariba sourcing module and getting a contract set up in Ariba's contract module is like, you can say it's a prerequisite. It needs to be done before anything else happens. Anything else means in this case, buying a laptop. So before your first PO goes out, you need to have a contract in place. So what does really contract modules do? So in this case, we saw that Ariba sourcing module, you will send an RFP, suppliers will respond to RFP, you will do some evaluation, and then you will select the winning supplier, right? So at a very high level, there are 3 steps, right, in sourcing module, which you will do at a high level. Of course, there is more details to it. In contracts module, what do you do? Here, you will start working with your buyer ABC in a structured manner. What does structured manner mean? Contract management in large companies, right? In this case, we are talking about large government organization, which is we're also calling a client. We're calling it a client also because this is the organization which is using Ariba, so which means there's an Ariba project going on, and this is the client who is implementing Ariba, right? Because only clients will use Ariba, and these are the clients who are using Ariba for certain reasons, such as sourcing, contracts, and other topics we'll talk about. So here you will start working with your supplier ABC in a structured manner to arrive at a legal agreement, which is a document with detailed terms and conditions of the engagement between the supplier and client. Buyers will prepare this document. Typically, the buyers will work with the legal department in this client organization, right? And those guys will work collaboratively to prepare a very big document. If you don't know how a contract looks like, I will suggest Googling a contract document or a contract template and you'll see how it looks like, right? And it's quite intense activity because it is something which will be in effect for a long time period. right? Like typically 4 to 5 years. Now, in the contract, you will prepare a document. If you prepare a document, you probably want to make sure that everybody in your organization who is responsible for making sure the document looks okay, look at that document, right? Which is called reviewing, right? So, firstly, the contract draft is prepared, then the contract draft is finalized and sent for review with the, let's say, simple language, leaders in the organization. What could leaders mean? It could be the, let's say, VP of procurement or VP of buying. Leaders in the organization. After review, typically what happens, contract, the reviewed contract is sent to the supplier for their own review. So you first review the document internally, then you review the document with the supplier, and after that, approve the, right? This is at a very high level what contracts will do. There is more details, of course, and after approval, you will definitely want to get assigned signatures. Right. So the main goal of this module is to streamline your process for creating a contract. And what is the contract here? Contract is the legal document which is going to bind the supplier and the buyer for the next 4 to 5 years, which is called the term of the contract. Now, these steps which I'm mentioning, naturally they will happen in Ariba, and there is a certain way which Ariba is going to handle them, right? Ariba uses something called tasks for handling it, right? And various steps you will execute in Ariba's contracts module is going to be through tasks. As we deep dive into various sessions, the first session is going to focus on sourcing, and in sourcing you will notice that Ariba has come up with something called guided sourcing, right? That's a relatively new functionality which Ariba has. So we will look into sourcing's details for classic and also from the guided sourcing perspective, both the process in the system and also the configurations of both. Similarly, contracts module, we will look into the process and the configurations. So you might wonder, RFP is just questions or does it have any items as well? It will have items naturally because at the end of the day you want to buy items. So I just use a general word called IT equipment, right? IT equipment examples could be laptops, desktop, monitor, accessories, right? All those could be items. So when you send your RFP out, this RFP will have your line items in it as well, right? And those line items will have a place where the supplier can put prices, and those prices will be part of the evaluation. So when the buyers assess the response, they will also look at the prices and see how much is the cost going to be for all these suppliers. So if there is 10 different items and you have different prices from different suppliers, there is a way you can evaluate in Ariba. Uh, so it rolls up the totals as well. So you look at the totals. And of course, different other qualitative factors are also part of the evaluation, right? So it probably will make more sense when we look into it in more detail. So simple way to understand is it's a selection of a supplier which is best. That's what sourcing module helps you. Contract module help you create a contract with a supplier that is the best supplier. And good thing about Ariba is there is good integration between the sourcing module and the contracts module. Because firstly, you will get your pricing and sourcing for supplier ABC. Then when you create your contract, this contract can be created directly from this supplier ABC's RFP. Right? So from the RFP itself, you can start creating the contract. What it means is the details which are in the RFP, such as pricing, they will carry over to the contract. So there is that integration point between sourcing and contracts. Right? So the pricing is carried over from here to here. Other details are added, and in the end, it all becomes your contract. So once you have your contract signed, what do you do? Let's make these as bullet points. Maybe that's going to be easy for us to understand. Once your contract is signed, what do you do? Right? You want to make sure the prices in the contract are utilized for in Ariba through Ariba B&I module. B&I is buying and invoicing module. Or in some other system. Like in Ariba, it being an SAP product, there is good integration with SAP, right? So it has, I think it is 60 plus standard out of the box interfaces which Ariba has with SAP. So there is different integration points you can pick depending on the client needs. You can also push your contract details to your SAP system. It can create an outline agreement there, right? And you can start consuming your contract there too. The right approach, uh, I won't probably right is not the right word right here. In our training, what we are going to focus is Ariba, right? Our focus is SAP Ariba. So which means the use case of Ariba which we will look into is when we build Ariba, because that's part of our training as well, building different components, because we are pretending we're doing an actual implementation, right? In that case, we will build Ariba BNI. So which means that the scenario which we're going to look at is we are creating a contract, and that contract is going to be consumed in Ariba itself. Although what I said is you can also consume in other systems. This is more for like info, right? Like it is possible to consume contract in other systems like SAP, Oracle, and blah blah blah, everything else out there. Um, so next up there from here is how does the pricing gets from the contracts module, right? Because I said that pricing comes from sourcing all the way down to contracts. And now I'm saying pricing goes from contracts all the way down to BNI. So which means there is an integration between contracts module and the BNI module as well. And that integration is through a feature which Ariba has, right? It's not a module. So Ariba has a feature called contract compliance that helps connect the Ariba contracts module to the Ariba BNI module so that the pricing details can be sent to the Ariba BNI system for consumption. Because what good is your contract if you cannot even consume it? You could have pricing for 50 items, but your purchase acquisition will not have any pricing for all those 50 items or so, right? So which means integration is naturally important, and this is where your feature called contract compliance comes in picture. So in contract compliance, there is certain setup you will do when creating your contract, and that will make sure that pricing that is available in your coming from sourcing, that pricing is available for your Ariba BNI system. Right? There is various ways to do it, right? And we will look into what are those ways. Contract compliance itself is like almost one full session for us. Right? It is quite detailed. If you guys have worked in any other system and you see how the contracts work there, right? Those contracts are transactional contracts, like SAP has contract and scheduling agreements. Those are transactional contracts, right? This contract is transactional contract, which is contract compliance, but also the contract management process, which is all these things, right? So this is where Ariba differs from, I would say, other ERP systems like SAP. So it's like an add-on feature which clients will not have. And with using Ariba contracts module, they'll be able to streamline it. Similarly, by Ariba sourcing, they'll be able to streamline Ariba sourcing process, right? So these are functionalities which typical ERPs do not have, like SAP HANA doesn't have it. So this is contract compliance. Ariba BNI module is used for transactions or transactional processes. What do I mean by that? What does transaction mean? I cannot ask you guys because you guys are all on mute, so I'll have to keep talking. Transactions is in Ariba. Let's just note down what is the BNI process. The below is the process for the Ariba BNI. And all these steps are basically transactions. Step one is data is acquisition. This is going to sound similar to the ERP systems. Difference is going to be in the experience. Date purchase acquisition, create proof purchase acquisition. From here, you will automatic creation of a purchase order. Purchase order is a PO. PO transmission to the supplier electronically. Electronically means what? Ariba has um, a portal or a website. It's called Ariba Supplier Network or SAP Network or Business Network, right? In which you can send your purchase orders. And they basically go automatically. That's why I'm saying pure transmission electronically. As soon as your PO is created, it is sent there, and suppliers will receive an email, and also they will see in the portal, right? So that's like an add-on which suppliers get. That's a big plus point, by the way, right, of buying Ariba. Um, Typically, clients will look into simplifying their transactions as well because sometimes that is seen as a big cost for them. It's a lot of admin effort. Getting a PO, uh, till now, even now, I mean, a lot of clients are using SAP, systems or Oracle system or things like that, right? However, their PO transmission is manual, right? They will create a copy of it, copy of a PO, like print a PO, download a PDF, and then make an attachment to the email and send to the suitable people, right? And all that happens because there is no portal, right? And this is where Ariba network or business network or SAP network portal, which a client gets, right? When they implement Ariba is a big benefit, right? And they are able to transmit POs electronically to the portal, which suppliers will have access to. So once the PO has gone, what happens? Suppliers will obviously see the PO, right? Supplier sends the order confirmation. Order confirmation is what? I'm hoping you guys understand what I'm saying. Purchase acquisition. Purchase acquisition is like a shopping cart. You go to your consumer website, right? You add some details such as uh, one laptop, one mouse, one keyboard. Let's say that's your shopping cart. You're buying it for your business use, your office use. Approval is necessary. So you will get that purchase acquisition approved. Clients will have policies around it, how the approval happens, right? We'll see in our discussions how in a training session how approvals can be configured in Ariba. It's pretty advanced as compared to other tools out there. And then after the PR is approved, PO is created. PO is the document which supplier is going to see, right, and say that I'm okay with it or I'm not okay with it. That's called order confirmation. So when supplier sees that PO, they will say that yes, I can deliver those laptop and a mouse and the keyboard, or they will say I can deliver it partially, or they will say that I don't have stock. Okay? So that's basically what order confirmation means. After order confirmation, this order confirmation will go to the person who created the purchase acquisition. They will get visibility into it. After that, what happens? Supplier sends the advanced shipping notice or the ESN. ESN is something which will give more details about what's coming and when it is coming, right? So it's like having details for shipment. Typically, the delivery date is given on that, like when do we expect this product to deliver? If there is any tracking information that is available, the supplier can enter that as well, right? So all these things supplier is able to do on the Ariba network portal electronically, right? There is no need to do manual entry in SAP by somebody like a buyer after receiving an email. This is all electronic end to end. Okay. Um, so when supplier sends the shipping notice after that, supplier will ship the goods, and in the system, goods receipt is entered by the person who creates the purchase requisition or somebody else who receives the PO. After the goods receipt is entered, what happens? Supplier flips the PO to the invoice. What does a PO flip mean? PO flip is very simple. A simple way to understand is supplier gets a PO on the Ariba network and they see the PO, the details, items, prices, right, and everything. They have confirmed the order, they have shipped the order as well. Now they are at a point that they are ready for sending the invoice out. They will click on a button on PO, and that's going to flip the PO's details into the invoice. That's called PO flip, right? So supplier will enter the invoice just by clicking on a button and clicking on send, right? It's like a few clicks, 2 or 3 clicks basically, right? And that is also very, very big benefit of using SAP Ariba because the business network allows you to do all those things, right? So supplier flips the PO to the invoice. Invoice goes through a three-way match process in Ariba. Invoice is compared against the PO. It's can be compared against the goods receipt and and things such as price, quantity, taxes, and all those things are checked, right? And what that does is it performs a three-way match. Three-way match means details are correct. We are good for paying that invoice, and from there, invoice gets sent to the ERP system for payment. So if you see, the whole process in Ariba BNI happens except the payment portion because payment is done in the ERP system because that's where mostly your finance details and finance module is available, right? And they have the payment program which you can run to process the payments, right? So this is where BNI module comes in picture. This is the process. Why use Ariba BNI? You might wonder. Why not, leave the way things are with the client? So why should a client implement Ariba? Which is a key question you might ask yourself because unless you understand that, why will you do training on Ariba? See, clients will have big clients will have SAP ERP system or a similar ERP system, right? In the ERP system, you can create a purchase acquisition. If you have a good consultant who can do an approval flow for you, you can do an approval flow. It won't be very advanced though, right? So you can do these things easily in ERP as well. Where the ERP is going to lack is it won't have a catalog, right? So why is the catalog important? So we are talking about a user who has a need for a laptop, right? In this case, HR department user needs to buy a new laptop, right? If there is no catalog, they will not be able to see what are the details for that laptop, like how the laptop looks like, what is the price for that laptop, what are the features for that laptop, and so on, right? So catalogs, which is basically what the consumer website's backbone is, ERPs do not have. And this is where Ariba comes in picture. Ariba has a very good catalog management engine, and it lets you manage catalogs in a very nice way. There are a few configurations or a few different configurations or ways to do it. And in our training, we will look into more details. You can have your suppliers load catalogs. You can, as a client, you can manage your catalogs yourself as well, right? So all in all, what Ariba is going to add to the existing experience of the users is, which probably are using ERP already, it is going to make their experience more of a consumer website type experience because Ariba has something called guided buying interface. and guided by interface gives a nice view to the users. It has a good search feature as well, right? So users will be working in HR department and they will not feel motivated to go to an external website to buy laptops, right? Because if you don't get that, these days consumers are, I would say, very tech savvy. They are also very uh, modern. They want to control things. They want to participate in shopping, right? In order to do that, they will either go outside or they will use a tool that is available internally. So tool has to be easy to use. It has to have good data in it, good process in it, right? It should be available on the mobile and all that. So all those things Ariba basically provides. That's where BNI module comes in picture. So if you look into our modules, overall what I've noted down, sourcing module, what is the benefit of using it? ERPs do not have this functionality. The level of detail which Ariba gives you, ERPs cannot do it. So Ariba sourcing module, if the client implements, there is a benefit in it. Contracts module has a functionality which ERPs do not have, right? Of course, you can create a transactional contract, but you cannot create a contract which will let you manage the end-to-end process. This is where Ariba Contracts module comes in picture. BNI module, it is gonna help the client get more advanced in their shopping, like get a consumer website type of experience internally within a company. Right? If you guys come from the MM background or similar background in other systems like inventory management, forecasting, replenishment, and all that, right? Um, Ariba BNI module is not for those functionalities. It's not for manufacturing. It's not for material requirement planning. It is basically for ad hoc purchases. It's called indirect procurement. It's called casual procurement. That's where Ariba BNI module has the most benefit, right? So these system sourcing and contracts are for anything a client uses, like any type of materials they buy, any type of procurement they do. This is mainly for your indirect procurement. Um, there is one last or two last modules which Ariba has. The There is a module called supplier life cycle and performance, or SLP. We have been talking about prospect suppliers, supplier ABC, and many other suppliers, right? So Ariba has a module where you can manage your supplier master data as well. Right? So you are able to create supplier, you are able to enter supplier details yourself. I mean, it's a basic process you will do first yourself. And then what happens is you will delegate a number of steps to the supplier itself, right? What I mean by that is if a client has no system like SLP module, what they'll be doing is they'll have somebody working in their AP department. AP department will be managing an Excel file, and that Excel file is going to be used for getting details from various prospect suppliers, which are going to be created in your master data, like supplier master data, right? Which means you're going to work back and forth over email, phone call, Excel files, and all that. There is good chance of error, and there is also it's not a very efficient process. You probably will need approvals and all that, which is going to happen over email too. So SLP process, what it does is SLP module, what it does is it aims to streamline your supplier creation and management process. So it's a pretty interesting module, very popular module. Any client which implements SAP these days, even those clients want to implement SLP because it is a good module to um, take a lot of admin work out of the supplier management process. So it basically starts by creating a supplier's profile, right? So starts with data supplier profile, then send a self-serve form to the supplier to fill. So instead of Excel, instead of emails, you're sending the form electronically. Then approve the form or reject the form. Supplier record gets created in the ERP system. That's basically, very high level how the SLP module can help you, right? As a client, it will streamline the process for creating and managing suppliers. It will, and also updating suppliers. It's not just the self-serve form, not just let you enter information for the first time. You can keep on updating over the lifetime of the supplier. That's what's called life cycle, right? So there is one more module. It's called supplier risk module. Risk module is what? The users of supplier risk are typically not your buyers, the buyers we talked about here. In most companies, I would say. Supplier risk module, like very, very big companies, they have departments and users who will manage their supply chain risk. Buyers will work with them, of course, right? And those users are interested in knowing what's happening across the world where your suppliers are located, right? So let's say you're a large, in this case, client being a large government organization. They have suppliers, let's say in Ukraine. I'm just throwing an example out. Of course, the war is happening in Ukraine, but not all areas of Ukraine are impacted, right? Some areas are impacted, some are still safe, right? Similarly for Russia, right? So risk module, what it does is, depending upon suppliers' details, where they are originating, right? What's their company's name and all that, it it automatically monitors the supplier's information in approximately 750,000 data sources. So it's like have 750K plus data sources which it automatically monitors, right? Then it is able to give you a risk level for a supplier. Right? So depending upon the risk level, you can do some other activities such as try to understand what is the risk, how you can mitigate the risk, and all that, right? So it is mainly not for the buyers; it is for like risk management users, and it gives a um, you know starting point to understand where the risk begins and how you can handle it. Right? So it is helping you monitor risk of the suppliers and take steps to mitigate the risk used by risk management and not the buyers. We have noted down all the modules: risk module, SLP module, BNI module, which is buyers buying and invoicing. Sometimes it is also called buying and invoicing. BNI is collectively, they are two different modules though. Buyer is one module, invoicing is another module. Sometimes clients will just implement buying and they will not do invoicing. So these are all the modules which Ariba has, right, and which we will cover in our training. We will look into in-depth process in the system, configurations, user security, approval flows, catalogs, guided buying, anything you can think about basically. Those we will cover in the training. I will show you guys quickly which site we are using, because you guys will at the end of the day get access to that site too. And I'm just gonna first log in. Hopefully I get it right this time. Yes, I went in. That's awesome. Okay. So this is the Ariba demo site we have, and you guys will be getting access to it. So it has various modules: sourcing, contracts, right? And administrative access is there so that I can show you guys what exactly we are doing and how we are doing. And there is this supplier management module where you will work on your SLP stuff. And then there is this risk module which shows you a nice dashboard of supplier risk. And Ariba is slightly, configured or designed into parent side and child side. We'll get into more details about it later on, right? The one one way to look at it is anything transactional like BNI module, you will look in the child side. So we have that same FPC architecture which all clients have. So this is where you will see your catalogs, like various catalog items which are available. Here you can create your purchase acquisition, do a goods receipt and all those things. We also have access to guided buying here, right? Guided buying looks quite different. So remember I was saying that there's two type of users for Ariba. One is the users who are buyers, right? Buyers will typically work in this UI. Buyers and consultants like us and administrators will work here. End users who are looking to shop here and there, like in this case, there is a place for MRO, right? They will be on this website. So you can do your approvals here. You can receive your goods here as well, and you can create your purchase acquisitions here. So this is where basic stuff can be done, and this is end user facing. Uh, this generally looks much nicer. Today it's not looking as nice. Looks like somebody has removed some tiles from here. So typically what happens is, as part of our roles as consultants, we will look at building up to 12 tiles, like three and then four, three in a row and then four tiles. This is what we will end up doing, and these are called common category tiles, right? So in our sessions, we'll look at how those tiles can be created and all that, right? So we have admin access. Yeah, so this is like a brief overview of our site. Arash, I think at this point we might want to open up to questions. Anything about,
Yes, Manish.
our
Yes,
site
Manish. Yeah.
or topics and all that. Yeah, thanks.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Manish. It was such a wonderful session. Very good insight. Each and everything is very clear now. I hope so for
Thanks.
everyone. So, guys, if still you are having any queries, not still, I really want everyone to ask the queries, and please raise your hands. Okay. So those who are willing to ask anything, please raise your hands. You can see raise hand, react under react raise hand option is there. Raise your hands. I'm going to unmute them so that there won't be any overlapping of the voices. Hello. Anyone is having queries, please free to ask. Oh, looks great, Manish. Nobody is having any queries, it seems. So, guys, any queries related with Ariba or any queries related with administration part, anything you can ask. Somebody is pinging over here. Manish is saying like, what is the future of Ariba in USA for entry level?
Like
People is
finding a
asking
job.
this.
Yeah, yeah. So finding a job in the USA for entry level. I think
Yes,
there
yes,
is good prospect. There is good prospect right now. I know there was, a bit of a slowdown post COVID and all that, right? The way I look at it is Ariba is a project in which you can, or a tool you can learn relatively quickly. And that's why we have this training. And after going through your training, you will be equipped with necessary knowledge that can help you, crack an interview and work on a project. Right? So there is demand in the market, and basically you just got to be ready to grab it. Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
okay. Thank you, Manish. So, Abdul, can you just unmute yourself? I have send an unmute request, so you need to unmute from your.
Well, I have a question. That's why I just unmuted it.
Yeah, please,
Yes,
please go
please
ahead.
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Basically, is it better to get placed in SAP Arifa or SAP FICO? Which one is better? Because basically, I am a FICO consultant. But I just would like to know whether which one will be better comparably.
So
Is it
those are two different things, different
yes,
different directions altogether, Abdul. Right? FICO
yeah,
is finance, right?
yeah,
Ariba is procurement.
yeah,
So if you're from SAP, then MM is procurement, right?
yeah,
And typically MM guys and FICO guys, they don't overlap mostly, but there are guys who want to learn both, right? So I won't say one is better than the other. FICO has good demand in the market as well right now, right?
yeah,
So I would say both are nice.
yeah.
Depending upon how much appetite you have, you might want to explore Ariba too, if you know FICO already.
So I think both are interlinked, isn't it?
They're interlinked when it comes to, master data, your accounting stuff, cost centers, GL accounts. Of
Yeah,
course, they are interlinked. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay, fine.
Thanks, Abdul. Yeah, we have a 10 to 12. Could you unmute and speak up?
Um,
Srinivas.
Yeah, Manoj, this is Srinivas here.
Hey, please go ahead, Srinivas.
I have some queries. Are you providing the access for a ECC itself for integration for ECC to Ariba?
So we have access for Ariba system and we have
Mm-hmm.
access for CIG. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are gonna look at CIG side of things in more detail. ECC or S4HANA side of things we will look at. We'll talk about it, but it's gonna be more like a document.
So you mean to say, suppose, just I'm asking again, suppose in case if I'm creating any purchase order in a Ariba system, so
Hmm.
can able to go and check in my ECC system, and I'm asking
No,
demo system. No, right?
it's, no, we don't have
So
ECC
one more,
demo access now.
yeah. So one more question here. So this is spend management, right? I think anyway you can able to
Correct.
give the training, and is it possible to get the access in Ariba network itself, or only you are providing the
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. So we have some sample suppliers which I'll share with you guys. You can do your end-to-end process with the suppliers. Yeah.
So no, I'm asking again another question that so whether can able to do the some of the configuration in Ariba network?
Oh, you mean the Ariba buyer network?
No, Ariba. See, two things are there. As per my understanding, that is the what is the spend management, nothing but Ariba downstream and upstream,
Correct.
and Ariba network.
Yeah. Yeah. We have Ariba network as well. Yeah. For some suppliers, you'll get access so that you can use your, end-to-end process. You can look at the configurations there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is the reason I'm asking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Naturally.
thank.
Welcome.
To make more clarity, Srinivas, for your first query, okay. So you see, what you're talking about is like integration, like with backend systems, like either it's ECC or S/4HANA. So we have that particular process also, but the to get the server access is very costly. If somebody is willing to spend that much of amount, we can provide that particular access to them as well. Okay,
You.
because this access is not like access where you are taking from third party vendor and we are doing. So we need to take directly from SAP. This is a cloud-based solution. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I understand
that
that.
particular
Just
solution costs a lot. Okay, but
yeah.
we have done the implementation, Ariba integration with for one of the clients. So we have recorded each and every screen, and we have taken the
Got it.
screenshot of everything, and that particular document is also going to be shared with you as a part of Ariba integration guide. That's going to
Thank
be
you.
very much valuable. Thank you. Is there anyone else, guys? You have any queries? Please open up your mic, raise your hands. Yeah, Vipul, I'm going to send you an unmute request. You can unmute and you
Yeah,
can.
actually, I know some things about Ariba that in Ariba there is a upstream and downstream. So if the invoicing part is comes in a downstream, right? Because uh,
Yes.
okay, okay, okay. So it comes in a okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So the best way to look at is BNI, buying invoicing is downstream. So the BNI process, which I noted down in our Word document, that's downstream. Anything else is going to be upstream.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Vipul. Is there anyone else, guys? Please, you are free to ask any type of queries related with SAP Ariba. Isaac, you are asking me something like, Isaac, are you there? Isaac was having some queries like, one second. I'll just read it for you, Manish, okay? Can a
Sure.
fresher without any SAP experience do Ariba first for job, or do I have to learn MM first, then Ariba? Yeah,
See,
this
my
is a very
suggestion is,
common question.
yeah, it's a common
Yeah,
question. My,
please.
my suggestion is if you don't know MM, then probably starting with the Reba is better. Reason is MM is it has more complexities in terms of the scope, how much learning is involved. But functionality is very, very limited. So there is a lot of learning, but all you're learning is like procure to pay, right? In Ariba, you're like for example, our training, we are looking into sourcing, we're looking into contract, supplier management, blah blah blah, master data. It's relatively easy to learn. Reason is that's the design of Ariba, right? It is UI based. Configuration is all on the UI as well. The whole architecture is just easy to understand and easy to pick up. What I've seen personally, like I've hired freshers out of university, like who know nothing about any procurement. And what they will do is they will come to Ariba, they will pick up like certain module and even sometimes certain functionality like guided buying, and they will from there they will keep on expanding. The reason is it is quite intuitive. If I put the same person, let's say in SAP S/4HANA, they will say, "Man, what is this T code? This Fury app is very clunky. What next?" Ariba is just intuitive. You click on one place, then you click on the second place, then you click in third place, just like you work on a website. It's just easy to learn, right? I
Yeah,
hope it
thank you, Manish.
helps.
And yeah, precise question is like, is Ariba learning Ariba is going to be enough to get a to secure a job properly? Do
Absolutely.
you need
Absolutely.
something
If you are a
extra?
fresher, yes, yeah, I agree. If you are a fresher, then starting with just Ariba is fine. If you are coming from MM, then I would say that's definitely a plus point because you have additional experience. And Ariba and MM do talk to each other. Like a PO gets created here, it gets replicated to MM. Right? Similarly, invoice gets replicated to MM as well.
Yes, makes sense. Really great. Thank you. Chaya, you are having any query? Chaya Gaikwad.
Yeah, hi.
Isha,
Am I audible? Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I just wanted to know, we are having means for every session, if there is any configuration, then are you providing the assignments for the same? Means like if we are changing some approval flow, like and we if I wanted to do practically, then
Like what do you want to configure? Yeah, we do. Um, Depending on the topics, we come up with certain examples which we ask candidates to try them themselves, and depending upon their own motivation, they end up doing it or not. Yeah,
okay, okay. And we are going for real-time scenarios or
absolutely real time, like what I've seen in my projects, really similar to those.
okay, 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 fine.
Mhm. You're welcome.
And one more, for mass data also, means we are uploading mass data also.
Master data as well. So the thing is, Ariba is integrated to backend system like SAP. So a lot of master data comes from there. There are certain master data you got to manually load or modify. So those details we cover in our discussions,
Okay,
and we
okay,
and we see
fine.
how to do it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Guys, I've made the mics totally open, so those who are having any queries, they can unmute themselves and they can come up with the questions. If you're not having any queries, I'll just briefly tell you we are going to start this batch from next Saturday onwards. Okay, next Saturday is going to be the first session for this particular batch. Okay, and meanwhile you please connect with your BREs who are helping you to join today's session. Okay, so that would be easier for everyone to get in touch with them. And all the sessions which you are attending also going to be recorded. We are providing all the recordings, server access, material, and even after the sessions we are going to create the WhatsApp group where you will be part of it. Okay, it's not only till sessions we are going to support, even post session also there will be proper support from our end. Proper in the sense like wherever you need even job assistance also will be provided to you guys. Okay, so next Saturday is going to be 16th of September. Please, we are going to start the session. The first session is going to be there, and meanwhile we are having 1 week of time, and today's recording will be shared to every one of you, and from there you can take it forward. Thank you so much. Really appreciate everyone for attending the session. And thanks a lot, Manish, for your valuable time and very good knowledge sharing with every one of us. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.